Hi there, Larry Seitz, Larry City. It's March 8th, 23. I'm running for alderman position, alder person in Larry City on April 4th. I asked for your vote, and I'm trying to explain a little bit about what my approach is going to be using systems thinking. And today I'm going to kind of rant about the medical system. Medical system over the last few decades has kind of gotten into a position of reductionism, where they reduce everything to its they keep cutting it into smaller pieces, and you wind up with specialists in more and more things, and nobody knows the whole system, the medical, I mean the body as a system. So I've had some experience with cholesterol. My doctor was trying to get me to take it. I found out that the drugs are being pushed by the pharmaceuticals, and in Canada they come with a black label warning that you need to take CoQ10 to keep um, your internal the cell functioning working. Okay, so there was all this started with a doctor named Keyes. He was the one that came up with the K ration in the wars, and it was his opinion that cholesterol was a problem, the cause of all this stuff. It was opinion; it wasn't tested. And over the decades, they kept pushing that, and we came up with changes to diet and so forth, and it was never tested. So there was a test, but first, we would think that uh, that over the half century, think of it as an uncontrolled experiment on the entire American populations, altering our traditional diet with unintended results. And for 30 years after the low-fat diet had been officially recommended, it had never been subjected to a large-scale formal trial. Formally, there was a Women's Health Initiative. 50,000 women in '93 were monitored for a decade, and they cut back on meat and fat. And they not only failed to lose weight, but they also did not see any significant reduction of their risk for either heart disease or cancer of any kind. This was the largest, longest trial ever of the low-fat diet, and the results indicated that the diet had quite simply failed. Anyway, that's the science we've got today. All right. Uh, so the reason I'm bringing this up is that as I've been out talking to people the last few days, campaigning for alderperson, I found a lot of elderly people have been damaged by the medical system. You know, one guy was he had a tube put in his chest to get blood to his legs because there wasn't good circulation, so they had to sew together the plastic and the flesh, of the vessels, and operation went fine, and they put him into recovery, and it started leaking, and it leaked enough that it was causing him serious pain, and he was yelling for the attendants, and they kept saying he's imagining it and this and that and the other till he died. He bled out and he died inside of his body. He bled into his body and he died. So that caused the heart monitor to go off, and then there was a swarm of medical people coming in there to fix him, and they revived him, and he's alive, but uh, not without further complications. And the medical organization stonewalled him as to what really happened. They withheld his records from the emergency room and delayed for 2 years until it got past the statute of limitations, and then he didn't get anything. He got, you know, what we would normally say. Uh, so, I've seen a lot of that, and it just upsets me. I've had members of my family get tons of vessels taken out and redone in their bodies and stuff. And I talked to somebody more recently that had some kind of a uterine problem, and she was in pain, and they said no problem. And I mean, I can't believe this stuff. Anyway, that's why we need to take systems approach to everything in our life, and I'll be talking more about what my plans are um, in the near future. You know, you should see some stuff come out in the papers and the buyer's guide and stuff. And this is my cap for today. It's the Sutherland lumber. I got it in California. They have some stores here too. Uh, so, you know, I got a lot of other examples on this kind of stuff with Medicare. Uh, the Medicare uh, prescription drug price went up a couple of years ago, like 15, 17%. I forget, a great amount because of some new drug that's supposed to prevent Alzheimer's and it's going to cost like tens of thousands of dollars for each person. And therefore, they had to spread that cost over all the Medicare population. And come to find out shortly after that, first, that was even not recommended to be approved because it was so ineffective. And uh, I guess the pharmaceutical companies pushed it through. So after about a year, they found out that some of the basic researchers had falsified their findings to support the opinion that amyloid plaque was causing Alzheimer's. So that blew the whistle on that. And so the next year, fortunately, the price the cost went way back down because they weren't prescribing that drug. So anyway, I I just laugh. I mean, we got people working on this. Okay, the movement that I'm part of is working about on this type of stuff, and I talk about, or you can find those videos referenced in my YouTube channel. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of time. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.